Hello everyone, welcome back. Social studies this week. We're going to continue doing mapping. Now last week we talked about mapping with landmarks. This week we're going to talk about another way of doing some mapping with a coordinate system. And this is what we use all around the world. This is what like GPS is used to track how far you're running or where you are in the car so you can get directions. And we're going to take a look at it a little closer today. I already made this lesson, and when I finished it just didn't quite sit well with me, and so I thought, well, let's keep looking. Let's try to find something better. So I found some other resources, and I found one that I really like. It's actually from National Geographic, which, as you know, is our reach for reading is through them. And so I want to go ahead and share this with you. Now, instead of talking about landmarks, it would be hard to give directions to somebody in the world if all we had was landmarks and you're just describing everything, and you'd have to have so much detail and you have to remember so many things. It'd be nice if you could just say it's here at this point. And so we developed a system that enables us to do that. And let's look at it. So we're going to build a little bit. So right now we're looking at a map of the world, North and South America. And this particular map is kind of showing us, if you flatten, just like a picture from space. But its purpose is to show us something called the line of latitude. And so latitude, I always learned, latitude is fatitude. It's like this. Latitude lines go this way, and they measure how far north or how far south something is. So if we're looking at here, how far north or south it is. And we base it off of the equator. We already learned a little bit about the equator when we were talking about the sun, earth, and moon. So this is showing us, my little pop-ups are in the way. This is showing us lines of latitude. And so we thought, well, we can use the equator as a baseline, and if something's above the equator, we'll describe it as being north. And if something's below the equator, we'll describe it as being south. And they broke it up into degrees, or these sections. And so we can see that a lot of the United States is in between 30 degrees north and 45 degrees north. So that helps us know north and south, but then there's a whole other direction, east and west, left and right. And we call these ones lines of longitude. I really like this map because you can see one of the issues is if you're going from the North Pole to the South Pole and you're drawing a line, like orange slices, it's a little bit different. And this one we were slicing it across and we had these nice straight lines, but this way we've got these curved lines. Okay. And when they were coming up with this, they were deciding how are they going to make these lines. There's a bit of a problem. We have the equator as like a natural mark for where we put 0 degrees for north and south. What about east and west? We don't have something like that. Where does east start? Where does west start? It's hard to say. And so they had this big meeting, and I believe it was in London, England. And if you look, this line for 0 goes through England, and I believe it goes through London. I need to double check that. I really should have double checked that already. But they said, let's do it right there, and we'll call that the prime meridian. And everything to the west we'll call west, and everything east we'll call degrees east. And these actually continue going all the way to 180 degrees west and 180 degrees east. And this just gives us a coordinate system. Now you'll notice on this map, even though this is a map of our world, it doesn't have the United States on it because it's showing us where the prime meridian is. You can see a little bit of Canada or maybe Greenland, and maybe a little bit of Central America, and here's South America. So as I mentioned before, maps, they're choosing what to show you, and in this case they're showing us lines of longitude, which are really long lines that go really high. Now, if I were trying to tell you where something was, I could use these lines of latitude and longitude, and I can say, let's go back to this other map here. I can describe where a city is by giving you the lines in the latitude and the longitude lines. I could say it's this far north and it's this far east. And that way it kind of gives us a grid to show us where to go. It's kind of like the game Battleship too. If you need two sets of coordinates, and in Battleship they use A, or the letters, they use numbers, so like A5, and they'll tell you if you hit or miss. Here's what you guys are going to be doing this week. This is just a little worksheet. You can just do it on a piece of scratch paper, but you will need to be able to see this map. And so I'll have this shared with you. And you're going to be using the map to find different cities in the United States. And they've broken up the states on this map, and it's just of the United States minus Alaska and Hawaii. Sorry, Alaska and Hawaii. And they're asking us to find which city is near 45 degrees north, 180 degrees west. Let me see if this will let me zoom in a bit. So let's do the first one together. 45 degrees north, 108 degrees west. So these degrees go north and south. And so I'm looking at here and I can see these lines. They're a little bit curved on this one because of the accuracy and the angle that they're showing us. Here's 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, and we're looking for 45. So we know it's going to be along this line that curves. And then 108 degrees west. What city is near that? So we look up here at the top, we have 100, 105, 110. Well, 108 is close to 110, and here's 45, and it asks us which city is close to that point. And there's a key on here that says these little dots are cities, and it looks like the closest city is right here, Billings. And so we're going to write down Billings, and that's going to give us the first part of our clue. There's a little joke on here. So go ahead and do the rest, and let me know what you think. I have one other thing that I want to show you. I'll be right back. I'm going to go grab that. Okay. It has to do with this. It's just another example of using a 2-point coordinate system. So just give me a second. I'll be right back. I'm back. For you guys, it was like instant, but I was gone for a little while on my end. So I have this board game. It's called Gloomhaven. It's this massive game. It takes like a year to complete if you're playing it fairly regularly. And one thing that this game uses is a map to tell you where you are and where you want to go next. And it uses a coordinate system. You can see on this side, instead of having lines of latitude, they just use, well, it is still a line of latitude, but they just mark them A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And then for their longitude lines, they're just labeling them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. And when you find a location in the game and they describe it to you, you get a little sticker you can put on the map. But if you had to just look over this map, it'd take a while. If they gave you a landmark like it's in Dagger Forest, it wouldn't take as long to find it, but there's still a lot of little dots in Dagger Forest. So let's say that I unlock the diamond mines. Instead of saying it's in between the Watch Mountains and the Serpent Kiss River, I'm going to say it's in L2. And I'm going to look at my map. I'm going to find L. I'm going to go over 2, 1, 2. And there we can see we have the diamond mines. So that's just kind of a fun application that I have in my life. It's something I've been doing lately, where it's using a 2-point coordinate system to help me use a map to find something instead of just giving me landmarks. So I thought I'd share that with you guys. But good luck on your activity. And I'm going to post another activity in case you want a little bit more of a challenge. It's a little bit harder. It has more coordinates to look at and to try to find. But that's what we're going to do this week for mapping. I'm just talking about latitude, longitude, and how it can help us. Because honestly, like GPS is like my watch, your phone. They use this latitude and longitude to figure out about where you are and where things that you might want to go to are located. So it's really cool stuff. All right, I'll see you guys soon. Bye.